Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news, a man is dead after a shooting in a Durham neighborhood. That scene where investigators have been since 9:30 last night.
And here's the next system approaching us. It may bring us a few isolated showers and thunderstorms late today and then tomorrow as well. I'll walk you through the timeline. Voting at the Vatican. Right now, cardinals are conducting their second vote for the new pope after the first ballot failed. The schedule today as we keep an eye out for any final decision. All eyes there as we keep watch. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday morning as we are moving along through the week. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, we're just cruising, cooking. We got it over hump day yesterday and now headed towards Friday Eve. Feeling good about it. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now, but we are looking at a severe risk a little bit later today.
Yeah, we could see a sprinkle or two this morning, especially in our southern counties, but it's likely to be much later today that we would see that chance for any severe storms. And it looks very minimal for us. As a matter of fact, you can see we've got a 20% chance on during the evening commute. It may be even later than that before we see any real chance of severe storms. We take a look at our tower camera, and we're seeing a mix of sun and clouds this morning. It's mild, 65 degrees, and the dew point 57, so that still keeps it feeling comfortable. But that number is going to go up over the next couple of days as we see that better chance for rain. At lunchtime, temperature 78, and we'll see 83 for the high this afternoon. Coming up, we're going to walk through with Futurecast the rest of the day today and tomorrow.
Thanks, Elizabeth. We are following that breaking news as police are on the scene of a shooting that left a man dead. The investigation is happening in a neighborhood on South Benjamin Street in Durham, and WRL's Eric Miller joins us live from that scene right now. Eric, investigators have been there since 9:30 last night. What can you tell us?
Jeff, hours of investigation here. You take a look behind me, you can see it remains a very active scene. Investigators have been focusing on this home behind us just to the right. We've seen folks in the forensics uniforms going in and out with flashlights, with cameras, shining lights all over that porch and the inside of this home, documenting what's left of this crime scene here this morning. We know Durham police first got the call right around 9:30 last night. One person shot here along Benjamin Street in Old East Durham. We're still going to learn that person's name as well as what exactly led up to that shooting. You can see Durham police continuing to pour over this scene, trying to piece together what exactly is going on here. More than a block of Benjamin Street is completely shut down here at this time. The Durham Police Mobile Command Unit out there parked right in the middle of the road, along with multiple Durham police cruisers as well. Not clear when exactly this investigation is going to wrap up. We'll, of course, stay on top of things here, bring you updates as they change. In Durham, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
This morning, cardinals are back at the Sistine Chapel to vote again on a new pope. The first conclave ballot failed yesterday, sending black smoke through the chapel chimney. The first voting session is underway right now. 2 votes are allowed in the morning. At the end of this voting session, we expect to see either white or black smoke, and that will be around 6 a.m. our time. If a pope is not chosen this morning, then voting will resume again at 10:30 a.m. We're keeping a close eye on the chimney for any signal of a decision.
Also today, what to do about cell phones in North Carolina schools. It'll be a topic of a brainstorming session. Governor Josh Stein's Student Safety Task Force is meeting this afternoon, 1 o'clock. WRL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Dillard Drive Middle School in Raleigh, and they want to create a list of guidelines for the school districts to follow. Good morning, Kelsey.
Yes, Jeff, good morning. This morning, the governor's Student Safety Task Force will talk about some policies that could impact your student. So conversations are already happening in the state legislature about cell phone policies in schools. And this morning, the task force is brainstorming about how to put those policies in action. They're asking questions like, when should students be able to access their phones during the day? What tools should schools have to enforce these cell phone policies? And should these policies vary based on students' grade level? Data shows students receive 250 to 400 phone notifications a day at school. William Lassiter from the Department of Public Safety says phones are a distraction in the classroom. He says the less students are on their phones, the better.
All the research shows that this helps with social development of our kids. If they're only relying on their cell phones to message their friends and not actually using their words and reaching out to real people, it actually delays some of their social development.
The task force will be meeting again this month. They're working on a best practices guide to give to local school districts about cell phone policies, and they'll be required to submit that to the governor on June 3rd. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Today, a proposal to change the pay structure for Durham bus drivers will be discussed. The Board of Education is holding a work session this evening at 5:30. They will talk about a plan that would change how certified and classified drivers will get paid. The suggestion is to compensate certified staff at $25 an hour. Classified staff will be compensated time and a half of their hourly rate.
Raleigh police are investigating a shooting at an apartment complex. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows the scene on Walnut View Road. This was around 11 o'clock last night. Investigators say shots were fired during a fight and a vehicle was hit with bullets. No one was hurt, and police say no one is in custody.
President Donald Trump is previewing a major trade deal, announcing details later this morning. In a social media post, Trump said there will be a news conference this morning at 10 to reveal it. Trump says the deal is with, quote, a big and highly respected country. Now, a source familiar with the matter says that country is the United Kingdom. There has been no mention of a trade deal with China, where new tariffs are anticipated to cause the most economic damage. But the president did say this deal would be what he says the first of many.
Today's the final day of crossover week. State lawmakers have passed a number of bills ahead of today's deadline. They have one more chance to push those bills through chambers, though little action is expected today. One of the bills passed by the House is known as the Firearms Liberty Act. The bill would introduce the option for North Carolinians to get a concealed handgun permit that lasts a lifetime. Current laws require people to renew the permit every 5 years. The bill would also allow defensive devices like tasers and pepper spray in public schools if they're secured with biometric locks. Biometric locks use identifiers like facial recognition, fingerprints, or eye scans.
We have an update on the Power School data breach in December. Power School is contracted by the state to manage records of staff and students. This week, employees got emails containing the same personal information compromised in the December breach. The state's Department of Public Instruction said threat actors used data from the previous breach to demand Bitcoin. Just last week, Power School told WRAL Investigates the threat was over. They paid hackers a ransom and watched data get deleted, or so they thought. The state said they'll use a new information management system in July called Infinite Campus.
A child is dead after what police are calling an accidental shooting in Mebane. Investigators say this happened just before 8 o'clock last night. When officers arrived on the scene, they found the child with a gunshot wound inside a vehicle. Police say the child was taken to the hospital where that child died from injuries, and witnesses told WRAL that shooting happened during a T-ball game. They say they initially thought it was a car backfiring. Officers say they're investigating this as an accidental shooting.
3 people accused of kidnapping a Garner woman and her 1-year-old daughter are facing federal charges. Leo Estrada Hernandez, Paula Duran Duran, and her brother Miguel all faced a federal judge yesterday. They are accused of tying up a man at his home, demanding $1 million, then kidnapping the 26-year-old woman and her baby at gunpoint. The mother and baby were found hours later, unharmed, at a home in Wake Forest. Now, according to court documents, the state charges were dropped because the case was moved to federal court.
A Wake Forest man who worked as a youth minister at a Raleigh church is charged with second-degree exploitation of a minor. Arrest records list Aaron Bradley's employer as the First Korean Baptist Church. A spokesperson told WRAL News Bradley was fired immediately from his position as a youth minister working for its elementary department. The church declined to comment further. Bradley is out on bond.
Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes' quest for the Cup marches on. They will play Game 2 of their series against the Washington Capitals. The Canes are looking to take a 2-0 lead in the series. They won Game 1 in overtime. Puck drop for tonight's game is at 7 p.m. WRAL is your home for Canes playoff coverage. We're breaking down the game-changing moments with insider analysis former Cane Shane Willis. Catch Canes exclusive post-game live only on WRAL tonight at 11:25.
20 minutes before 5 on your Thursday, protecting oceanfront property. A new bill could provide a safety net for homeowners on the North Carolina coast. How the payout today could save lives and money in the future.
Planning that summer trip. New AAA data looks into how people in North Carolina plan to spend their summer. The destination that's top of the list for travelers.
Taking another live look right now, Vatican City, and there is that chimney. We'll be keeping an eye on whether any decision has been made on who the new pope may become.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, taking a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. We had a couple showers there in our eastern counties. Those are pretty much moving on out. I mean, they were teeny tiny little sprinkles. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see much more of that this morning. We're seeing a mix of sun and clouds. Later on this evening, we have the potential for a few storms to produce some gusty winds and hail. It's a level 1 risk, and we wouldn't likely see it until maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. Take a look at our rain chances. They go up a little bit during the evening commute, but just to 20%. We don't really get much into a real good chance until maybe 10 or 11 or midnight even. It's nice and dry in downtown Raleigh right now. We take a look from our Jimmy V camera down through Fayetteville Street, and it's a little cloudy. So we have the top of the tower lit there in purple for this morning. Our high temperatures as kids are getting home from school will be in the low 80s. We're going to talk more about our rain the next couple of days coming up.
A 3-day ceasefire is in effect right now in Ukraine. That pause was declared by Russian President Vladimir Putin as Russia marks the anniversary of its World War II Victory Day, Friday. The high-profile event is expected to be attended by leaders of several countries that are friendly with Russia, including China's Xi Jinping. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky called Putin's announcement a theatrical performance and reiterated his country's support for an earlier U.S. proposal for a 30-day ceasefire. Russia rejected that.
Brian Kohberger's family will be allowed to attend his murder trial, even though they may also be called to testify. A judge's ruling finds Kohberger's right to a public trial also entitles his parents and siblings to attend. Potential witnesses are sometimes excluded from attending trials, so their testimony cannot be shaped by other witnesses or evidence. Kohberger's trial on charges of killing 4 University of Idaho students is due to start in August.
Since 2020, 11 houses on North Carolina's coast have collapsed into the ocean. Now there is a bill that could offer some much-needed help for those homeowners threatened oceanfront structures there. Will Thomas reports.
It's a shame that they are falling into the ocean.
For 4.5 years, Stephen Culley has owned his home in Rodanthe, which means he's also fully aware of the number of houses that have been taken by the ocean, 7 in 2024.
The beach erosion is going to happen. It's a battle that we've been doing for thousands of years. So, but we could certainly do a better job of controlling before it goes in.
Right now, homeowners using insurance through the National Flood Insurance Program cannot collect on the house until it falls into the ocean.
You can't rent the house, you can't live in the house, you can't use the house, but you can't demolish it. It falls in the ocean and then you're covered.
There may be a new way to handle that soon, as Congressman Greg Murphy has recently introduced legislation to have that changed. Some of it including allowing payouts for condemned houses, advanced payouts for demolition or relocation, and limiting payouts if the homeowner does not act before the house collapses. Murphy in a statement says in part, proactively condemning and demolishing properties will better serve eligible beneficiaries, improve public safety, save taxpayer dollars, and protect the surrounding environment.
It makes a lot more sense to take care of it before all that debris ends up in the ocean.
And without a house collapse in Rodanthe since the fall of 2024, Culley hopes his view of the houses in front of his stay that way.
I'd like it to stay that way forever, yes. They can all stay right in front of me. It's a nice buffer.
Raleigh police are getting new electric bikes to help patrol the greenways. City Council accepted the donation from the Raleigh Police Department Foundation to buy 4 new bikes. This will give the department's Greenway unit a total of 11 bikes. These bikes allow officers to respond quickly to any accidents or issues that may occur.
New state data shows widespread PFAS contamination in groundwater near landfills in North Carolina. These toxic forever chemicals don't break down and have been linked to serious health problems. Most landfills tested across the state reported PFAS levels in groundwater above federal drinking water limits. Now the state is requiring some sites to check for nearby private wells that could be at risk. Wake County had levels more than 5 times the drinking water standard. Johnston County reported levels more than 40 times higher.
More North Carolinians are planning to take a trip this summer compared to last year. That's according to a new survey from AAA. 61% of those who responded to the survey say they plan to travel in North Carolina this summer despite economic uncertainty. Most people plan to take a beach vacation and stay here in the U.S. June and July are shaping up to be peak months for trips.
4:48, the time right now as we give you this live look downtown Raleigh here. You see that cloud cover right there. Moved in late yesterday. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center here to stay for a little bit with some sprinkles out there.
A couple of sprinkles, yeah. Here's a look at the big picture. We do have a warm front that's heading northward toward us, and that will keep things warm for us and also bring us just a small chance of some rain later on today. Cold front itself moves through tomorrow, and that'll bring us an even better chance for rain, but we do have a bit more cloud cover out there and a couple of sprinkles too. Most of those moving out of the viewing area off toward Greenville, but I'll have my eye on it. There could be a quick sprinkle or two in parts of the region this morning, but that would be minimal. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms from the Triangle area westward. Damaging wind would be our biggest threat, but of course it's just an isolated threat at level 1, and that's likely to be much later today. We'll kick things off here this morning with a mix of sun and clouds taking us out to lunchtime, and then later in the afternoon, a tiny chance of rain there at 5 o'clock. It's more likely to be closer to maybe 10 or 11 before we start to see rain moving in. Now, it may still linger into the morning hours. This is 6 a.m., maybe still a few light showers, and then it's likely to be fairly late again on Friday before we see showers and thunderstorms. We'll be watching for that front, and it's likely to be mid to late afternoon as that moves on through. You can see 3 or 4 o'clock, those showers and thunderstorms moving through. And looking a little bit more interesting, we do have a level 1 risk again for tomorrow as that cold front passes us by. Right now, it looks like it should be out of here by maybe dinner time or so. Here's a live look at North Hills. We do have some cloud cover out there this morning. 65 is our temperature, and we'll see 75 by lunchtime. Upper 50s in Roxborough and South Hill, but a lot of us are in the mid 60s, and that's a good bit warmer than it was this time yesterday. Yesterday it was nice and crisp and cool, and 65 is not bad. We're seeing that in Morrisville, 61 in Garner, 60 in Apex, so not a bad temperature out there. Temperatures will be in the mid 80s this afternoon, 83 in Raleigh and Durham, 86 in Fayetteville, because we're not likely to see the rain until much later. Again, late Friday into Friday night, we'll see a chance of some showers and thunderstorms, and we take a look at what's happening at Carolina Beach, and it is mostly cloudy right now. Our southern coastline has a low risk for rip currents as we get closer to the weekend, but up along the Outer Banks Friday and Saturday, we already have a moderate risk, so keep that in mind. There have already been rip current issues on the coast this year. Saturday and Sunday, looking pretty good. We have a small chance for some showers potentially on Mother's Day, but a better chance as we get into next week.
Elizabeth, thanks. Stephen King's earliest work is heading to the big screen. Lace up your shoes. We are getting our first look at The Long Walk just ahead.
And we take you back, a live look at the Vatican right now, waiting on that smoke to come out of the chimney, keeping an eye on the second day of conclave, when we could learn if a new pope has been selected.
It is 6 hours ahead in Rome at the Vatican, so almost 11 o'clock there as we take a look at the chimney at the Sistine Chapel, waiting to see if any smoke signals happen. Well, a new release on the big screen for fans of Stephen King.
An 80s reunion, 40 years in the making. David Daniel shares the first looks in today's Hollywood Minute.
You'll never find another like me. I'm the last of my kind.
Warning. Okay, just keep walking. That's right. Just keep walking.
Yeah, that's it, kid. That's it.
Second warning. Third warning.
The Long Walk, the first novel Stephen King ever wrote, finally reaches the big screen. The title track is a contest. Keep walking until only one person is left. Cooper Hoffman and Mark Hamill star in the dystopian thriller from Hunger Games director Francis Lawrence, which marches into theaters September 12th.
The 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California.
The Ferrari from Ferris Bueller's Day Off is toast, spoiler alert, but the film's stars may be taking another road trip. Deadline reports Matthew Broderick and Alan Ruck are in talks to reunite for the comedy The Best Is Yet to Come, about friends who head off to save one of their sons and knock a few items off their bucket lists in the process. It'd be the first time the real-life friends have starred together since Ferris Bueller nearly 40 years ago. ago. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Now that's a sequel I would watch.
What kept them apart so long?
I know.
Goodness. All right, well, they're getting back. Okay, 70,000 lollipops show up on your doorstep.
That's the exact situation one Kentucky mom found herself in, followed by finding a $4,000 charge for them in her bank account. Well, turns out her 8-year-old son, Liam, placed the order while playing with her phone. Mom even tried to stop the orders before all the treats arrived, but it was too late. In total, 22 cases of Dum Dum suckers were delivered. She says she will change some settings on her phone so it doesn't happen again.
Quite a carnival in the making right there. A plane down at the Raleigh Executive Jetport. We hear from a flight instructor who witnessed that crash.
Cell phone crackdown. The governor's task force is brainstorming a plan to deal with phones in the classroom. The ideas on the table today.
And the conclave continues at the Vatican, where we are looking live right now, the ongoing vote to select a new pope.